Today on Teach Online TV, we're going to talk about how to protect your course from being copied. So let's take a look at how you can protect your courses online from being copied. Now, I've seen mixed reviews out there from how concerned people are about this. Some don't care at all. They think just more sharing is better. That's a camp I tend to fall into for my own personal courses, but I know many of you are concerned about protecting your content and making sure it can't be copied. And reality is, if you've put a lot of hard work into your course, you don't want it getting out there for anyone to just access without going through the channels that you've created. So we're going to take a look in this video on how to do that. I'm going to give you a variety of tactics and techniques that I've used over the last 10 years of creating and selling online courses. So first of all, I started out with an online course 10 years ago that I'm still running today, where I actually had legal requirements to protect the content. And those requirements have actually increased over the years. They're enforced by a third party that licenses me some of the content. So I've played around with things like limiting IP addresses, limiting the ability to print, limiting the number of people who can view it, limiting or using DRM or digital rights management software. And for those of you who don't know, IP addresses are the address where someone is accessing your content. So where is their computer located? And so you can limit the number of different IP addresses that someone can access your course from. The issues with all of these different solutions and a variety of others that will protect your videos and protect your content, the issues with the software solutions that actually impose hard limits on people accessing it is it always degrades the user experience, and often for all of your wonderful paying customers who should have access to it. So for example, if you limit it to accessing the content from only one device, or maybe only 3 devices or 3 IP addresses, many of us now will access the course on our phone, they'll go to our laptop, we'll get it from work, we'll maybe even want to sign in from a library or a friend's house or another device, maybe we have 2 phones, and all of a sudden you have people who are legitimate users of your course who are not able to access it, and you have to deal with that. So I often find that when you establish hard limits on access or very difficult software solutions that shut down access for people, it results in more headaches for you and for your legitimate users than it does actually help with stopping people from stealing it. The other thing is to remember is that if someone is truly determined, there's really nothing you can do to prevent copyright theft. You look at the big motion picture studios and they're still not able to protect the content from being stolen. So that all being said, here are some ways that you'll make it much harder to steal, and much more importantly, you will decrease the incentive for someone to steal or borrow or even share your course content. So first one is if you build in student progress, so you can track progress throughout your course, that makes a borrowed course feel like a borrowed course. So if I share my sign-in with someone and it's tracking my progress, things are going to be marked dones. It's going to show my percentage complete. And so for someone who's borrowing my course, they're not really going to feel very good about it. They're not going to feel like it's their course because I'm working through it. Plus, me as the person who's sharing it am losing out because now someone else is going in and marking things complete, finishing things. And so it's kind of destroying both of our experiences, and it feels a little bit more like it's borrowed. I honestly believe that most people don't want to steal content, and often when it's shared with them, they don't even really know that they weren't supposed to get it. So putting user tracking or progress tracking into your course, which Thinkific does automatically for you, will decrease the sharing of courses. Another one is interactive elements. So if you put in things like quizzes, again, that creates the borrowed course sense where, hey, someone already finished this quiz and they got a score and there are the answers or there are the explanations. That doesn't help me. I want my own version of the course. The other thing it does is it makes it very difficult to copy to another system or copy to another site. So it's very different than just having a couple of videos up for download, which people can potentially steal or copy. If you have things that are interactive like quizzes or surveys, which are all built into Thinkific, that makes it much harder to go and steal that kind of content. So that's another good one. Finally, well, a number of other things we'll look at, but another one is personalizing the course a little bit with things like certificates. So through Thinkific, you can offer a personal certificate when someone completes the course. And so by offering that, obviously you're decreasing the value of sharing that or copying that course because they can't access that certificate for someone who shared the course. So that's another good one. A really big one, and I find this is probably the biggest, is splitting your content up into bite-sized pieces. And this has 2 benefits at least. One is protecting the copying, because it makes it much harder for someone to go and copy and a lot more work for them if they have to go and grab all of these different pieces, especially if some of them are interactive. But even if it's just videos and screen shares or slideshows. The other is by having all of those different smaller pieces, it actually dramatically increases your engagement and completion rates for your students. One other thing that you can do is you can add non-course bonuses to your course. So things like a coaching group or a private Facebook group, or even some one-on-one time, or other things that they can get access to that are outside of the course. So me, if I'm borrowing that course from a friend or someone's copying it somewhere, I'm not getting access to that, especially if you even refer to it in the course. Now I'm taking this stolen course or borrowed course and I'm really feeling left out, like I don't have access to this private group. And you have a lot more control of who's going to get into those private groups than you do necessarily into that course. So that's another really good one. And finally, putting a little bit of your own flavor onto some of your content. So watermarking your videos. If you want, you can put a little kind of faded logo or even big branded logo in the corner, or even your website address there. So if those videos wander off, then at least people know where they came from. And then finally, within any documents or text or PDFs, you can insert links or references back to your main site or your main course. So someone who's reading a borrowed copy of it will see, hey, if you're getting value out of this, check out our full course over at here's my website. So that kind of thing can really help with the borrowing, the copying, the stealing of your courses. At the end of the day, I don't think most people are into stealing, borrowing, or copying courses. I know it does happen occasionally, but my own personal course, we put thousands of people through it over a decade. I've spent considerable effort tracking IP addresses, using digital rights management software, blocking access only because I was required to. And what I found out from that, it really wasn't worth my time. So I would do the things like cutting your content up into small bite-sized pieces, putting in certificates, putting in quizzes, making it more interactive, tracking learner progress, those kind of things that actually add value to the course and make it harder to borrow or copy. That's my opinion on copying courses. I hope you find it really helpful. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you're looking for more information, check out the resources below. Leave a comment, ask a question. I'd be happy to answer them. You can also check out Thinkific.com right here. Or if you'd like to subscribe for more information, subscribe here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.